is lesson 12-3 that we are going to do, and it is called Estimate Decimal Products. Well, products you know is multiplying, so you're estimating multiplication problems using decimals. Let's do an example. Let's take this one. This is actually easier than what you guys have done before with multiplying, with adding and subtracting, estimating those answers. With multiplying, all they want you to do, you can forget about finding the smallest number and all that kind of stuff. All you're going to do is each one of these, you're going to round it to the biggest spot. That's not a zero. We're never going to round a zero, okay? We're going to round this one to the biggest spot, this one to the biggest spot, and then we're going to multiply. Yes?
Basically, we're just rounding to the biggest spot and then taking those numbers that we rounded to and multiply them?
Exactly right. So let's try this. Let's round this one. Let's round this one, and then let's multiply them. So this one, we're going to round to the furthest spot. Now it's just easy. Rounding to the furthest spot. What is this one going to change to?
3.
The 2 tells the 3 to stay the same, yes? The 2 tells the 3 to stay the same. So this stays the same. What happens to all the numbers past? You come on in. What happens to these numbers? What happens to them when you round? Yes? They become zeros. Okay, look up here. This becomes a 0. This becomes a 0, right? They all become zeros? So our new number is what? What is it now?
30.
30, thank you. Let's round this 12.4. Okay, we're going to round to the furthest spot, so let's underline the furthest spot. The 2 tells the 1 to do what? Oh, you guys all got quiet all of a sudden.
Stay the same.
Stay the same, and what happens to the 2 and the 4?
They turn into 0.
So now we have 1, 0.0, which is
$10.
10. So 30 times 10 is?
300.
300. All right, easy peasy, right? Let's try a couple more and make sure you know what you're doing for estimating. You can do it on your whiteboard. Yes, do you have a whiteboard out? Grab your whiteboards and an expo marker. No, keep going. Okay, get your whiteboards out. If you need to come up to the front on the floor, that's fine. If you need to come up onto the floor, go for it. Okay, here's your next problem. Let's try.
Layla. Don't go. No, take me. Take me.
No, do this. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I should hear only the sound of your expo marker moving against your whiteboard. That's all I should hear. Let's see who can round this and get the correct answer. You are rounding to the furthest spot to the left. Try to write that in the right way, though, Ella, right? We don't need all those extra zeros, no,
Okay.
Mia, we're multiplying. Good, Brinkley, yep, get rid of those zeros.
So it's 20.
No, you're going to round those. So what did you get for 4.52? You rounded it to what?
5.
You rounded it to 5. What did you get for 3.8?
4.00.
4. 4 times 5 is?
20.
Yes. All right, next problem. Ben. All right, next one, let's try.
Wait, would that be 1.0?
You round it to the furthest spot to the left. That is not a 0. No, this wouldn't round to 5 because it's not even 1 whole. So you don't want to round this to 5. It's only 4/10. It's less than 1 right now, so you wouldn't round it all the way up to 5. There you go. And what about this one? You wouldn't round 56 to 6. What would you round it to? No? Let's do this one together.
Why?
It's a little confusing.
No, it's not.
Think of our rule. We are going to take each number and round it to the furthest spot to the left. That's not a 0. Furthest spot to the left that is not a 0.
4.
We're going to round this. The 5 tells the 4, and then these ones change to a 0, and we keep this, right? We keep what's in front. So we have 0.500, which you can just write as 0.5. You keep what's in front of what you rounded, and you get rid of what's in back. It all changes to a 0. So let's look at this one. If you go to the furthest spot to the left, it's right here. If you look to the right, the 6 tells this 5 to do what? Move up to a 6, and everything after that rounds to a 0. So what is this one? 60. So now we have 0.5 times 60. So let's take that down here. 60, whoops, 0.5 times 60. All right, we have a 0 here, so we just can put the placeholder and move over to here. 6 times 5 is?
30.
6 times 0 is?
3.
6 times
0, but it's 3.
0 plus 3. Now, this is not our answer because look at, we have this decimal spot right here. So we need to take the decimal and move it to right there.
Okay.
And the answer is going to be 30, which makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
Half of 60 is 30.
That does not make sense at all to me.
No, because you're making it bigger.
You're multiplying it by half.
Wait, so you don't
Okay. So while you're looking at what you did, raise your hand if you have a question about this. Okay, but raise your hand and ask it in front of everybody so that we can all learn from it. Rocky, question. I can't hear. We got a few talkers up here. Girls, make sure you're respectful of who has the floor, okay? Rocky?
I don't know if I'm calculated, but I got this instead of 30.
Yeah, that's a lot of zeros. So Rocky, what I would do, instead of moving this over like this, get rid of those zeros right away. You don't need those. You don't need these either. You can just move over 60 times 0.5. You don't need all those zeros at the back end, right? Guys, it's going to confuse you if you leave all these zeros. So get rid of those. You don't need these. They have no value. They're not holding any places, okay? Let's try another one. Let's try... let's see here. Okay, I should hear only silence. Ben, please be quiet so that others can think, okay? Thank you, Michaela. Do your own work by yourself, all right? you didn't estimate to the furthest spot for that first one.
Is this correct?
That's right, but what about the decimal?
Is this correct?
Some of you are, oh, some of you forgot your decimals.
Is this correct?
Oh, just wait. Turn yours around to yourself, and let's see if you got it right. 1.85. If you round it to the furthest decimal, the 8 changes the 1 to a 2, and then these become zeros. So all you need to write is a 2 over here. Now let's estimate this one. Let's round this one to the furthest spot to the left that is not a 0. So that means we're going to round to this. It would be, this changes to a 3, and this changes to a 0. Do we need this 0?
No.
So it's just 0.3, right? So now we have 2 times 0.3 are our rounded answer. So let's try that. We're going to take 0.3 times 2. And why did I put that one on top? You want to put the one that has the most digits on top.
That's what I thought.
Okay? It's easier to do multiplication than I need you to turn completely around and not talk. Okay? So what I was saying that is going to be helpful is when you are setting up your multiplication problem, I need a couple eyes up here. I'm missing girls and I'm missing a couple boys. This is important. When you set up a multiplication problem, whenever you do, decimals or not, you want to put your longest number up here. It might not even be your biggest number. This isn't the biggest number, the most value, but put the one with the most digits on top. It'll make your multiplication easier. 2 times 3 is? 2 times 0 is?
0.
Now, how many decimal places, how many places past the decimal do we have? 1. Where's 2? Just 1, right? So the decimal's going to go not here, but
Here.
right there. 0.6.
Yeah, the
That's
girl
like
said
an
it.
E.
I figured it out.
Yes, it does. Okay.
Can I do one more?